The housing crisis. Home is where the couch is. Let's start with the absolute king of Irish misery, the housing crisis. You know it's bad when "where are you living?" is a question that triggers a stress response in half the population. If you're lucky, you're still in your childhood bedroom, surrounded by faded One Direction posters and your mother's passive-aggressive comments about when you'll finally move out. If you're not so lucky, you're sharing a cozy, reed, closet-sized flat with 6 strangers, a dog, and a mysterious smell that no one wants to claim. Rents in Dublin are now so high that you'd think every apartment comes with a gold-plated bidet and a personal butler. Spoiler, it doesn't. The average rent in Dublin has soared past €2,500 a month, and that's if you can even find a place. The rental market is so competitive that people are offering landlords everything from higher deposits to homemade brown bread just to get a viewing. Buying a house? Good luck. The average house price in Dublin is now over €700,000. That's right, you'd need to win the lotto, rob a bank, and maybe sell a kidney just to afford a semi-detached in the suburbs. And don't think moving to the countryside is a solution. Rents and prices are climbing everywhere, and you'll just trade your financial woes for a 3-hour commute and spotty broadband. The government's response has been a masterclass in doing absolutely nothing. Every few months, they announce a bold new plan to fix the crisis, but the only thing getting built faster than excuses are the waiting lists for social housing. Protests outside the Dáil are now a regular event, with everyone from students to pensioners waving signs and demanding change. But until someone invents a way to live inside a protest sign, most of us are stuck paying half our wages for the privilege of 4 walls and a leaky roof. So, if you ever wanted to experience what it's like to live in a game of Monopoly where everyone loses, Ireland's housing market is the place for you. Riots and social unrest, the only thing spreading faster than rain clouds. If you thought Ireland's reputation for craic and community spirit was unshakable, 2025 has come along to prove us all wrong. The past year has seen a disturbing rise in riots and social unrest, especially in Northern Ireland, where things have gotten so heated you'd think someone replaced the water in the Liffey with petrol. It all kicked off after a high-profile criminal case involving 2 Romanian-speaking teenagers, which was quickly hijacked by every bigot and troublemaker looking for an excuse to cause chaos. What started as protests rapidly escalated into full-blown riots, with 81 police officers injured, dozens of arrests, and buildings set ablaze, including, bizarrely, a leisure center in Larne, because nothing says community justice like burning down the place where your kids learn to swim. The unrest spread like wildfire from Ballymena to Belfast, Carrickfergus, and Portadown, with social media fanning the flames and everyone suddenly becoming an expert on law and order. If you're an immigrant or just look vaguely foreign, you might want to invest in a disguise, or at least a good pair of running shoes. The government's response has been a masterclass in hand-wringing. Lots of sternly worded statements, promises to review the situation, and absolutely zero concrete action. Meanwhile, the rest of us are left wondering if it's safe to go into town after dark, or if we should just barricade ourselves in with a box set and some emergency biscuits. The riots have exposed deep divisions in Irish society, with anti-immigrant sentiment on the rise and trust in public institutions at an all-time low. It's like The Troubles, the sequel, but with even less plot and a lot more property damage. The only people benefiting are the insurance companies and the makers of riot shields. So, if you're looking for a place where the evening news is more dramatic than a Netflix thriller, Ireland's current social climate has you covered. Just remember to keep your head down and your phone charged, because you never know when you'll need to call a taxi or the fire brigade. Political paralysis. All sizzle, no steak. Let's talk about the glorious circus that is Irish politics. If you enjoy endless debates, finger-pointing, and politicians who could talk the hind leg off a donkey without actually saying anything, you'll fit right in. The government's favorite solution to any problem, be it housing, healthcare, or infrastructure, is to announce a comprehensive review or set up a committee. This is usually followed by months of consultations, heated debates, and ultimately, no real action. The housing crisis, still here. The cost of living, still rising. Infrastructure, still crumbling. But hey, at least we've got another task force. Opposition parties are no better, shouting about emergencies and demanding radical change, but offering little in the way of practical solutions. The only thing politicians seem to agree on is blaming each other. Meanwhile, the public grows more cynical by the day, and voter turnout is dropping faster than the temperature in January. The latest government solution to the housing crisis is a 4-week consultation on attic conversions, because nothing says urgent action like asking people how they feel about Velux windows. The result is a country country stuck in political limbo, where nothing gets done and everyone is frustrated. If you're a fan of political soap operas with endless plot twists and zero resolution, Ireland's political scene will keep you entertained for years. Just don't expect anything to actually get fixed. So, if you like your government's all talk and no trousers, Ireland is your dream destination. For the rest of us, it's just another reason to sigh, roll our eyes, and wonder if things will ever change. The cost of living, where even potatoes are a luxury item. If you've ever wondered what it's like to live in a country where your wallet empties faster than a pint of Guinness on St. Patrick's Day, welcome to Ireland in 2025. The cost of living here is so outrageous that even the leprechauns are considering emigration. Everything costs more: groceries, utilities, transport, and don't even get me started on eating out. A simple trip to the supermarket feels like a high-stakes game of what can I afford this week? Spoiler alert, it's probably not the avocados. Even potatoes, the humble staple of Irish cuisine, have become a luxury item. You know things are bad when you're rationing your spuds. Let's talk about utilities. Electricity and heating bills have shot up so high you'd think you were powering a small country, not a two-bed flat. And if you're brave enough to turn on the immersion heater, be prepared to remortgage your house or your soul. Public transport isn't much better. Fares keep rising, and if you live outside the main cities, you'll pay a premium just for the privilege of waiting for a bus that may or may not show up. Want to go out for a meal? Unless you're happy with a value meal deal, expect to fork out 20 euros for a burger and chips. And that's before you've even looked at the drinks menu. The government blames global factors, but somehow other countries manage to keep their citizens from going bankrupt over a loaf of bread. Meanwhile, wage growth has stalled, and more people are relying on food banks and charity just to get by. The only thing rising faster than prices is the collective blood pressure of the nation. So, if you enjoy the thrill of living paycheck to paycheck, budgeting like a contestant on a survival show, and treating yourself to a takeaway once a year, Ireland is the place to be. Just don't forget to bring your own potatoes. Infrastructure woes. Every commute is a choose-your-own adventure. If you love a bit of daily unpredictability, you'll adore Ireland's infrastructure, or as I like to call it, the land that time forgot. Getting from A to B is less a matter of planning and more a test of your patience, luck, and ability to dodge potholes the size of swimming pools. Public transport is a particular joy. Trains and buses are often late, sometimes canceled, and always overcrowded. If you live outside Dublin, Cork, or Galway, you might as well invest in a good pair of walking shoes and a sturdy umbrella, because you'll be waiting a long time for that next bus. Then there's the roads. Ireland's road network is a patchwork quilt of potholes, half-finished bypasses, and roundabouts that seem to exist purely to confuse tourists and locals alike. Commuting is an Olympic sport here, with bonus points for anyone who manages to avoid roadworks, tractor convoys, and the occasional sheep traffic jam. Broadband? Don't make me laugh. In rural areas, your internet connection is so slow you'll have time to knit a jumper while waiting for a YouTube video to buffer. And let's not forget about water and electricity. Burst pipes, boil water notices, and power outages are all part of the fun. The government loves to talk about ambitious infrastructure plans, but the only thing ambitious is the timeline. Most projects are delayed by years, if they happen at all. Planning bottlenecks, contractor shortages, and cost overruns are the norm, not the exception. So, if you're looking for a country where every commute is a choose-your-own adventure and every day brings a new infrastructure surprise, Ireland is the place for you. Just remember to pack a flask, a snack, and maybe a tent, because you never know when you'll get home. Click the like button, subscribe, and stay awesome.